The Batman is directed by Matt Reeves. It stars Robert Pattinson, Zoe Kravitz, Jeffrey Wright, Colin Farrell, Paul Dano, and Andy Serkis. The Batman takes place in year two of Bruce Wayne being Batman, and we focus on a serial killer named Riddler who's going after important figures in Gotham. This forces Batman to investigate the corrupt city and team up with Gordon to try to capture the Riddler. Expectations for the Batman were super high. The Batman is my most anticipated movie of 2022. Ever since the first trailer in 2020, I was hyped out of my mind for this movie. Every trailer has been incredible. The cast, it's an A-list cast, and Matt Reeves is one of my favorite directors of all time. Batman is my favorite superhero of all time, so I'm down for any adaptation that will happen with this world and of the character. So, I've seen this movie twice already. I'm happy to report that the Batman not only met expectations, but it surpassed them. This movie is one of the best comic book films of all time. It was so much different than what I was expecting, but I mean that in the best possible way. The Batman is a work of art. It's really dark, it's gorgeously shot, and it's just an all-around remarkable film. Now, I usually start with the performances in my review, but I want to start with director Matt Reeves first. For those of you who don't know who Matt Reeves is, he's directed movies such as Cloverfield, Let Me In, and the last two Planet of the Apes movies. I can say without a doubt that The Batman is his best film so far. This is a movie that he's been working on for 5 years, and he said in an interview that he wanted to make a Batman movie that feels justified in its existence because we've had so many live action Batman movies before. This movie feels so different than anything we've ever seen. I'm telling you, this is primarily a detective story slash thriller that feels similar to movies like Seven, Zodiac, and Chinatown, while also being its own unique thing. The Batman has so many things going for it. It's 2 hours and 55 minutes long, and I think the runtime is perfect because every character has the time to get fleshed out, and the thriller aspect, the mystery is so engrossing that from scene one, you're immediately locked in. You know what type of movie you're in for, the tone, and honestly, from the opening scene till the end credits, I was just completely immersed in the world and just how the story was presented overall. I think Matt Reeves did such a great job with the action sequences, with the way certain scenes were shot, and just balancing everything with the story because the actual story and mystery is hidden from the trailers. So as a viewer, you are wondering what the hell is going on and how exactly are things going to wrap up. So Matt Reeves, I think he knocked it out of the park. He did such a great job with the Batman. Now, in terms of performances, let's talk about Robert Pattinson as Batman. He killed it. He was such an awesome Batman. He was menacing. He was a great detective, and he was completely fearless. I will say that for this movie, about 95% of the time he is Batman. We get only a few scenes with him as Bruce Wayne. He's really good as Bruce Wayne too. And I've heard a common complaint about this Bruce Wayne, which is that he's not really a playboy billionaire. I'm not going to really spoil anything, but I will say the fact that he's not a playboy billionaire, I think it works for this movie. I think if they had gone that route for this specific film, it would have been weird. And it makes sense because with Bruce Wayne, this is his second year being Batman, and he's just trying to figure out everything that's going on. And he just wants to be Batman, and he's not in a very happy state of mind. So it just makes sense for the movie. In any case, there were so many haters for Robert Pattinson because of Twilight, even though that movie came out over 10 years ago. And he's been killing it since post Twilight, and I'm glad he proved the naysayers wrong because he was awesome. Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman slash Selena Kyle, she was great in this film. She definitely stands out. They really flesh out Selena Kyle in a way that I didn't expect, but it was just beneficial for the character and her performance. I mean, the stunt work for her part, it was awesome. She's a really good fighter, and you really sympathize with her character. Again, it's hard to really explain certain things that happen in a movie because, like I said before, the story was really hidden from the trailers, but the way they incorporate her story with the overall mystery, I thought it was really great. I thought it was such a great addition for the movie, and she just killed it, I thought. Colin Farrell as Penguin, unrecognizable. He completely transforms to the character. And I'm not just talking about the way he looks, because the way he looks nothing like Colin Farrell. I mean, it's his voice, it's his mannerisms. It's just, he was the Penguin and he killed it. He was such an awesome character. And I thought he made for such a fun addition to the movie. Paul Dano as the Riddler, phenomenal. Matt Reeves said he wanted to make an inspiration from the 1960s Zodiac killer with this Riddler. And I have to say, I definitely got those vibes. He was menacing, he was terrifying, and the way Paul Dano plays him, pitch perfect. I think it's a more grounded approach to the character. So I won't say anything else other than that. But yeah, Paul Dano, I thought he was really, really good. He has one monologue here that sticks with you. It's definitely one of the best scenes in the movie. Andy Serkis as Alfred, he's not in it that much, but when he's in it, he's very good. I really liked his relationship with Bruce Wayne in this movie, and I think he has one of the best scenes of the entire film. And Jeffrey Wright as Gordon, awesome. His partnership with Batman this movie, I love their duo because this movie really emphasizes on a detective aspect like no other Batman movie has done before. And their collaboration together, they were just they really were a dynamic duo that I just couldn't get enough of. And their chemistry was really good. That's another thing too. Robert Pattinson's Batman, his chemistry with Selena Kyle in this movie was also off the charts. So the acting, everyone killed it. One person I want to mention, John Turturro as Carmine Falcone, really good. Holy shit! I didn't even know he was in this movie before seeing it. So seeing him as the character, I was like, he actually like really played the part perfectly. Very different than his interpretation in Batman Begins, but it seemed very accurate to what the show was like, you know. So I really appreciated his character, and he's in it for a good amount too, more than I expected. So the acting is just off the charts. The directing is masterful, and the cinematography. This is the same person who did the cinematography for Dune, and about 20 times I was like, "Yo, this shot is amazing." During this 3-hour movie. And I just couldn't get enough of it. The action sequences, the mystery itself, the way it concludes. I love how this movie uses a lot of moments of silence to really convey what a character is either thinking or, basically the power of silence in this movie with like minimal dialogue. It's done in such a proficient way, and it really makes the movies, it's those little things that makes the movie stand out from other comic book movies that have come out in recent memory. So the Batman overall, it's a masterpiece. I think it's one of the best movies I've seen in years, and it's going to be hard to top this as my favorite movie of 2022. I mean, it's March, and I know we have a long way to go, but man, it really did deliver on expectations in my opinion. So I'm going to give the Batman a 10 out of 10. Phenomenal film. I applaud Matt Reeves. I will say I don't think everyone will love this movie. And you know what? I think that's fine because you can tell with this movie, this is exactly the type of film Matt Reeves wanted to make. And I think it paid off so well. So yeah, the Batman, it gets a 10 out of 10. I saw it twice, and I can't wait to see it again. So that's my review of the Batman. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the review. And if you guys haven't seen the film yet, I hope you guys take the time to do so because it's worth it. And that's it for me. Thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for the next video. Make sure to like, subscribe, and comment on the video if you want. I will see you guys next time. So until then, take care. Have a good one.